How do you know if you're moving toward your goals? Which is why measuring one's progress becomes important and critical. I know, now, as obvious as that may sound, you'd be surprised how often measuring one's progress is ignored. Now, I don't mean to say that you need to be fanatic about measuring your progress, but effective? Yes. So, in this episode, we're going to cover some practical ways on how you can measure your progress toward your goals. So, keep it locked. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Up It and the Actionables podcast. If you're a returning viewer or a listener, you know that I appreciate you tuning back in every week. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Peyton, and if you've got goals to achieve for yourself, that's what this channel is all about, and we bring you fresh weekly content every Saturday. So why do you need to measure your progress? Because how else are you going to know if you're actually moving toward it? While pursuing our goals, we may become so relentless and focused in taking action that we may feel that where is the time to measure the progress? Wouldn't it just be obvious when we reach our goals? So why do we have to bother with the hassle of measuring our progress? But that's the trouble. No matter what you're trying to achieve in life, no matter what your goal is, you're going to take some time. You're not going to be able to achieve it immediately. It's going to take some time and repeated and constant action. So do yourself a huge favor and measure your progress so that you know how much progress you've actually made, how far you've actually come, and how far you still have to go. That way you will be able to see and judge for yourself the quality of actions that you have been taking. Before getting into the tactical steps, I want to hear from you. So leave me a comment below and tell me, what do you do? How do you measure your progress, if you are measuring your progress at all? I would love to know your thoughts. So now let's talk about some practical steps that you can take to measure your progress irrespective of the goal that you're trying to achieve for yourself. Step number 1 is defining your success indicator, which basically means what is the yardstick with which you're going to define whether you are being successful with your goal or not. So for example, on social media, we have two kinds of metrics. Vanity metrics, such as the number of likes and hearts that you get on a post, or second is the more engaging metrics, which is comments, the conversations, shares that you had on a certain post. So it depends on the person how they want to judge their social media performance, either through vanity metrics or through engagement metrics. So when it comes to your goals, you've got to take the time to define this success parameter. Are you going to judge your performance and your progress depending on what others are saying, or you're going to take the time to define for yourself, to really ask yourself hard questions as to how you're going to judge your performance and measure it? So are you going to look at the quality of your actions that you're taking about, and also how consistently you're taking your actions? So take the time to define this success indicator for yourself. Step number 2 to measure your progress is to create milestones or checkpoints. Now, as with any journey, we know that it is better taken when we have checkpoints where we can rest, we can get fresh, and then continue on our journey. Similarly, while you're pursuing your goals, there are going to be times where you're going to feel uninspired, don't feel like taking action, you feel down, and that is when these milestones will come in handy, because then you can aim and aspire to reach smaller checkpoints or milestones rather than looking at your goal as one destination. So yes, initially it is going to take time to create these milestones, but you will be so much better for it if you do. Step number 3 is to track your inactions. Now what this means is there are going to be times, like I mentioned earlier, that you will not feel inspired to take action. There will be times where you feel discouraged, and I'd like to tell you that that is part of the journey, and that is completely natural to feel that way. So when you don't feel like taking action, what you can do best is to notice what is it that is stopping you from taking action. For example, could it be something about a particular task that has got you feeling down and uninspired? So what you can do is you can track those times of momentary inaction, because you can start to see patterns even when you're not taking action. So when you see such patterns which cause you to feel down, uninspired, then you can start to take corrective action towards it. The final fourth step towards measuring progress is to celebrate your milestones. This whole process of pursuing goals is a process that you should enjoy, and you should not suck the joy out of it by being serious. How about you take the time to enjoy the milestones that you created in step number 2? Celebrate your wins, big and small, because it is a process after all. It is a journey, not just a destination. So those were 4 practical ways to go ahead and start measuring your progress toward your goals. Leave me a comment below and tell me which one resonated and if this helped you. I will see you next week. If you want further help with your goals, then we've created a checklist that can help you pursue your life goals in a much simpler and organized manner. Be sure to check that out. The link is mentioned in the description below. If this episode resonated, do share it with a friend, and like I said, I will see you next week. Don't forget, what you want matters, and it's really up to you to make it happen. Stay happy and stay healthy. I'll see you soon.